on Channel 7 at 11:30. Hope you can join us for that. The action in just a few moments, but first of all, let's go back in time and find out what happened on preliminary final Saturday in seasons past. On this round, our regular host is Sandy Roberts.
Thank you, Peter. Good evening, everyone, once again, and welcome to our segment where we go back and look at some of the great highlights of our truly great game. Well, the preliminary final. It decides who's going to go into the grand, and believe me, over the years, there's been some great action. It was 17 years ago that Ron Barassi's Blues made their shock preliminary final exit from the 1967 series. The favoured Carlton had led by 27 points at half-time, but with Sharrock, Goggin and Farmer setting their side alight and Wade kicking 5, it was to be Geelong into the grand final by 29 points. A record 103,000 saw the Cats held to just one goal in the final 50 minutes of the 68 final. The Bombers, with Noonan kicking 3, beat Geelong by 4 goals. Despite 6 goals from Peter McKenna, Collingwood had no answer to the ruck strength of Mike Green or the goal kicking of Eric Moore and Kevin Bartlett, who each kicked 4 for the Tigers. It was Richmond through to the 1969 grand final by 26 points. Jezza would probably like to forget the 1970 preliminary final. He had 14 scoring shots and kicked 4-10, but it didn't matter. The Blues defeated the Saints by 62 points and set the scene for a grand final playoff against Collingwood, and what a match that was. The Tigers lost to St Kilda in 1971, their first finals defeat since the beginning of the Hafey era in 1967. The margin there, 30 points. In 1972, Carlton coach John Nichols moved Alex Jesselenko to full forward. He kicked 7-3 from 17 kicks, and the Blues defeated St Kilda by 16 points. The Collywobbles struck the Magpies in 1973. They led Richmond by 6 goals at half-time, but in a remarkable second half were to go under by 7 points. The Tigers swung injured skipper Royce Hart off the bench, and he made all the difference in the revival. North made the first of 6 successive preliminary final appearances in 1974. It was to be a 5-point win over Hawthorn, with Barry Davis, the skipper, best to field. In 75, the Roos defeated Richmond. Again, the injured Hart was swung off the bench, but the results went the other way this time. In 1976, it was North by a point, with the brilliant Barry Cable and Darryl Sutton, the Roos' outstanding players, against Carlton. Cable was at his best in 1977 against Hawthorn, in what many people believe was his greatest game. The little master delivered 16 kicks and 22 hand passes and piloted North to a 67-point win. Collingwood fell victim to Barassi's Roos in 1978, with Ken Montgomery brilliant on the half-back flank with close to 39 possessions in his side's 2-goal win. Despite 5 goals from Malcolm Blight, North's streak of 5 preliminary final wins came to an end at the hands of Collingwood. That was in 1979. Michael Turner gathered 27 kicks in the 1980 final, but even his valiant solo performance wasn't enough to swing the game the Cats' way. It was to Collingwood by 4 points in a thriller. Ian Cooper had played only 4 games in 1981, yet he was to be best of field in the 1981 final. Again, Geelong went down in a close one, losing to the Magpies, again, by 7 points. Carlton's premiership quarter, their 3rd, put paid to Hawthorn's hopes in 1982. Curly Austin's Lee Matthews' full-time shadow was best of field with 28 possessions. And last year, North Melbourne finished top of the ladder and suffered the indignity of losing successive final matches and waving their premiership aspirations goodbye. Essendon's 86-point win was spearheaded by Jimmy Watson, who kicked 5 goals. So there it is, just some of the action from some of the truly great games in preliminary final days over the years. Let's now go back to the 84 preliminary final, see who makes it into the grand final. Here's Peter.
Sevens Big League is part of the 1984 Nissan VFL Premiership season.
Thank you, Sandy. Let's check first of all the winners in our TAB footy bet competition, and 2 of them, Mr. R. Stevens of Campbellfield and Mrs. C. Mackenzie of Shepparton. I think that's Campbellfield, not Camberfield. I would imagine that is correct. Congratulations to you both. And time now for our TAB phone account numbers. And on screen you can see 8 of them. If yours is one of those, take a good look at them. Be first to dial 268 268-2174. That's the telephone number, 268-2174. If your TAB phone account is one of those and the first 2 viewers through will also be richer by $250 with the compliments of NEC. We return to the preliminary final now, and this time we pick up play at the start of the second quarter with Essendon holding a very handy lead.
We begin the second term out at VFL Park with Essendon leading 8-1 to 2-4, a difference of 33 points. Van der Haar 3 goals and Baker 3 goals in the first quarter. The Bombers swing into attack, up to Van der Haar again. Can he take the mark? No, not on this occasion. Harvey went through pretty solidly, but without the ball. Picked up by Ezard, down towards full forward, knocked into the arms of Harvey. Thank you very much. Harvey shoots a goal. Essendon 9 goals, 1. Will be in the grand final next week without any doubt at all. Collingwood 2 goals, 4.
Wonderful piece of play by Merritt, you're right, Lou. But I do notice that Tony Shaw has been put into the centre of the ground, and Michael Taylor now picking up Timmy Watson. But I suppose at this stage you would have trouble whatever you did, because everything that Essendon has done, Shane Hurd onto Dacos. Dacos has had 1 touch only for the game. Thompson onto Gary Shaw. Gary Shaw has made some aluminium mistakes.
55 plays 16 now at VFL Park. A runaway performance by Essendon. It's a Collingwood free kick from centre field to Derek Shaw. Shaw puts the Magpies into attack. That's a rarity in the match today. Only 2 goals to their credit, and this guy's kicked them both. Ronnie Andrews.
He's doing a marvellous job down here, this fellow. He's playing 100% football, Pete.
It's a good example to some of his club mates who are just watching. Good pass too, this time to Banks. Banks taking the mark in front of Walsh. He's about 35 metres out from goal. We can see Fellows coming onto the ground now. And Derek Shaw going off. Now Dennis Banks, a chance for his first goal. Ball dropping a little bit short into the goal square. Madden tries to tap it. He gets it over and turned to Bradbury. Bradbury out wide. Barham is there, so too is Banks. Neither can take the grab. Down goes Abernethy, picked up by Walsh. Game number 50 for the Bombers today, and he's playing pretty well, isn't he? Out towards centre wing. McEwen and Van der Haar. Van der Haar goes down, but it's picked up by Watson, who gets around Brown. Fires it out to Wesard at right half forward flank. He tries to get clear. The kick slews off the side of the boot. Baker's already kicked 3. Spins beautifully, shoots in towards full forward, but he's missed this one and put it through for a point. Essendon 9 goals 2 to Collingwood 2 goals 4.
A 40-point lead to Essendon, and things are looking very sick for the mighty Magpies. It's a lacklustre job by Collingwood today as we see Richardson go for the mark. He's only had 2 kicks up to this stage of the match. Baker goes for a pass, will be all right. And Mark there dead in front by Danaher. This is his 6th mark. And we see that Van der Haar's had about 7 or 8.
Well, they'd have nothing to lose, surely, by swapping Phillips and McKeon under those circumstances. Nothing whatsoever.
We're waiting now for Terry Danaher from about 20 metres out directly in front, going for goal number 2. And that's what it is. Well, are they looking good? This is a disgraceful performance by Collingwood. The score, 10 goals 2. 62 to Collingwood, 2 goals 4. 16 is an old Collingwood player. I'm a bit ashamed to read that score, actually.
It's on replay now. Sevens big league sees Baker having a picnic down there on the forward line, putting it across to Danaher. Danaher, Van der Haar, Baker. Well, you name it, Essendon are having a picnic.
3.5 minutes gone.
And the Bombers still going like, let's say, like bombs as the ball comes out now to shore. It's a hurried kick out towards the wing position, but that's what they're doing with all their kicks. They're off balance every time they get the ball. Finally, it's Thompson going for a pass, and there we see the ball marked here by Danaher. Short pass, up high looking for Merritt. They all missed that one coming into metre as Moore. Baker once again snaps at goal. It's going pretty close. And I think it'll be another goal to Baker. That's goal number 4. And the Bombers move on to 11 goals, 268 to the Collingwood team. 2 goals, 460. And yes, what a bath they're getting.
Our old mate Bob Davis would be happy to see Baker playing out there.
Well, yes, Bob's been a pretty severe critic of Baker, but by golly, he's certainly doing a great job here today, but he's had plenty of mates out there.
Oh, he's getting so much latitude, he probably can't believe it. 68 plays 16. Yes, your eyes don't deceive you. John Cale looking understandably a little bit worried. What's that? 52 points. 42 points. 52 points the difference. Knocked down by Madden. Richardson, position number 3 only. Out to Taylor. Mullane. This guy played a pretty good first quarter. In fact, I thought he was Collingwood's best player. He's gone through a pass, trying to find Banks. Walsh is right there with him. It's out of bounds, and a boundary throw in on centre wing.
Full marks to Banks too, Bob. He's battled his inside out down there under tremendous odds.
Yes, but Walsh is with him every moment of the way.
Madden and Derek Shaw. Shaw on the left. Neither gets an effective tap out. Bradbury, a beautiful smother. Pinched by Richardson. He's gone for a pass down towards Ronnie Andrews. Mark number 3. Andrews plays on. Oh, what pace. Andrews shoots at goal. Can make it 3. Oh, Ronnie's done it. What a great one-handed effort. Applause from Lou Richardson. Thoroughly deserved. 3-4-22. He's kicked all of Collingwood's goals. They trailed 11-2-68.
Yes, well, if there's one thing that might lift Collingwood, it's the performance of Andrews so far. And Andrews, I'm sure, has something to prove to Kevin Sheedy in saying that I should have been in last year's grand final. And well, there's a real battle of pace, as you called it, Pete. Weston and Andrews. Now there's a real stall gift job there.
Right.
68 plays 22, a difference of 46 points in favour of Essendon. 3 goals to Rod Andrews, a lone effort up forward for Collingwood. The umpire has found a free kick go to Essendon. It'll go to Harvey, who came on midway through the first term to replace Foulds. Van der Haar can't take this mark. Toomey back onto the ground. It rebounds to McEwen. McEwen out towards centre wing. Oh, great mark taken out there by Thompson. Thompson with the left foot pass. Not a good one. Mullane again, in my opinion, Collingwood's best player so far. 11 possessions, and that's not bad. Out to Neville Shaw, couldn't complete the mark. Taylor seemingly got tripped up. The umpire says no free kick, and there will be a ball up at left half forward flank for Essendon.
46 points the difference.
Duckworth now on Andrews.
And we're at the 6.5-minute mark of this second quarter. Knocked out that time by Big Merritt. And there could be a throw-in. Yes, a throw-in from that half-forward flank position for Essendon, about 65 metres around from their goal.
Duckworth and Andrews having a great conversation.
I was just thinking that, Pete. I was about to say exactly the same thing. I think they're acting like it's a Sunday afternoon picnic.
The ball down there towards half-forward. Knocked on beautifully by Danaher. Over to Clark. Back to Watson. A snap at goal. Up towards Van der Haar. He's got the sit here. He's got the mark. Oh, what a game this fella's played. That's his 8th mark for the match. And I think I've seen Van der Haar play more effectively. He's going for goal number 4.
Surely now Collingwood have to make the move of Phillips and McKeown. They've got nothing to lose. Both players are being beaten.
This is the Flying Dutchman at his best. As he fires at the goals from point-blank range. It's another goal. 4. That's 4 goals to Van der Haar. The score, Essendon 12 goals to 74. To Collingwood 3 goals for 22.
There's very little to say at this stage of the game.
Could you say words fail you, Bob?
They really do. I just cannot understand it. You know, it's asking too much of McKeown, and they've got nothing to lose because Danaher is beating Phillips, Van der Haar beating McKeown. They've got nothing to lose by swapping the 2 players.
Just on the 8-minute mark, and the difference now 52 points in favour of Essendon. What a debacle here, and what a side this Bomber mob look. They're looking terrific. But still, it's never over until the final siren. You never know. Collingwood could pull some miracle out of the hat, but
you believe in fairies too,
I do believe in fairies, Pete. Waiting for the centre bounce again. Well, it's up towards the Essendon centre half forward position. Oh, there's nearly a push in the back to Fellows, and he'll take the free kick down there towards the centre half back position for Collingwood.
Fellows' first position. He came on only a few minutes ago. Out to Derek Shaw. Watson on his own. Harvey running with him.
Baker on his own.
Yes. And takes a good mark. 3 marks, 12 possessions to Leon Baker. Timmy Watson telling him where to kick it, but I think he'll go straight at the goals. Van der Haar marking again in front of McEwen. How many times have we said that? That's 9 marks. Our statistician is running out of fingers. 9 marks, and it's only 9 minutes gone in the second quarter. Could be looking at a record preliminary final score here this afternoon. Also, in terms of goal kickers, Baker has 4. Van der Haar going for his 5th. It looks pretty good from here. I'd say he's got 5. He has. The Flying Dutchman really alight. Essendon, their score 13-80. Collingwood 3-4-22.
Westpac brings you Advantage Saver Plus, the personal banking package that gives you all the advantages of Australia's most advanced electronic banking system. Advantages like access to your money at more times and in more places. High interest on your savings. Plus checks totally free of bank charges. And gives you the card. Advantage Saver Plus. From Westpac, the bank.
Nationals, no compromise. 8-hour video. Multiplies tape time without halving picture quality. Very professional.
Is your lawn looking the worse for wear too? Well, here's how to give a patchy lawn a new lease of life. Oversow. Oversow is a specially formulated mix of lawn seed and slow-release fertiliser. Apply it to your old lawn and then you watch the transformation. Oversow turns thin and worn lawns into one that you can be proud of. Buy Oversow now at Kmart or your garden supplier. Oversow by Valley Seeds, the easy one-step lawn repair kit.
I got a mate. I got a mate. I got a mate called Matt.
Real good mate I go to work with. Real good mate who works real hard. Real good mate I got to rely on.
My Master B's the best investment I ever made. That 2-litre engine works real hard. 5-speed transmission will go anywhere. Power-assisted front discs will stop any time. Add Master comfort and reliability to all that muscle, you've got more than a ute. You've got a mate. I got a mate called Master.
Graham Kennedy, club president. He's never pulled on a boot. Jack Thompson, the coach, has the loyalty of his team, but hasn't won a premiership. It's the ultimate grand final, with no prizes for second place. The Club, the sensational Sunday movie premiere at 8:30.
80 plays 22 at VFL Park in the, not a boil-over, but a bath.
Phillips and Merritt having a bit of a jostle behind game to play.
Well, at least to say there's a bit of sparkle somewhere in the Collingwood side. Certainly haven't seen much of it so far, apart from Ronnie Andrews. Knocked away by Madden, tries to find Harvey, picked up by Dacos, who hasn't had a kick so far apart from a free kick. He's down again. Brown can't pick it up, fumbles, Merritt right after him. And umpire Rowan Saws has ruled that it will be a bounce at centre-half forward for Essendon. Collingwood stars not shining today. Taylor tries to burrow through. And again, the umpire has decided on a bounce, still at centre-half forward. 10.5 minutes gone in the second term. 80 plays 22. Essendon fans singing already. Well, they might. Getting in good voice for next week. Knocked down by Farrows to Dacos. Oh, that's pretty untidy. It's a Collingwood free kick. I'm glad he finally got out of that patch of earth. Would have been denuded of grass had it been there much longer. Dacos to take the free kick. I think that's only his second kick for the day. Both of them have been free kicks. Dacos from half-back. Banks in front. He's certainly tried so far. Walsh caught with the ball. Barham fires out a long hand pass. Diving on top of it is Ezard. Can't control it though. In goes Hawker. Once again we'll see a bounce. It's pretty well on centre wing. Baker 4 goals. Vander Haar 5 goals. Have cut Collingwood to ribbons so far. Knocked down by Madden. Picked up by Harvey. A wobbly punt kick up towards centre wing and McEwen finally taking a mark. Seemingly playing on Danaher now, Bob.
This is out at centre-half back. Phillips onto Merritt, virtually as a back pocket, and it's full-back McCormack on Vander Haar.
McEwen up to Derek Shaw, and Derek Shaw has taken the mark.
Good mark to Derek Shaw at centre-half forward, about 55 metres out from goal. Collingwood trailing by 58 points. Just on the 12-minute mark of the second quarter. There's the kick by Derek Shaw. It's a high one. At the back is Andrews. Tapped the ball out. He couldn't hold that one. They pile up there, and the umpire said play on as he tries to crash through the pack. He got one in the back that time, I'd reckon.
Well, he did.
But the umpire didn't play it. Mate Gully, he's played a great game down there, Andrews. He set a fine example to his team. But that's not a one in the back. I've never seen one, Pete.
Must agree with you, Lou.
There's a ball up now, about 15 metres out from the Collingwood goal. Knocked out by Shaw. Dacos snaps at the goal, but it's not his day today, and it's through for 1 point. So it's Collingwood getting a little closer. 57 points the difference now. Waiting on the ball to come back into play by Duckworth. Little short kick. Ronnie Andrews goes after. It's going to be a great race. He tried to leg him that time, but missed. Duckworth showing a lot of pace, or more pace than Andrews. That wouldn't be hard to do as the ball finally goes out to Weston at half back. Weston gets around his opponent. 90 shoots the ball there, but mark dropped by Taylor. Hand pass coming out that time from Banks. Neville Shaw goes for pass. It's marked here by Richardson. And Richardson at half forward. Going for a hand pass again. Oh, smothered that kick of Taylor. He should have kicked that. Actually, Richardson should have kicked it. Down goes Merritt. A fumble by Watson. And they're going in pretty hard. They mean business, Essendon, as they go after the ball again. And the umpire's going to ball it up out there on the centre wing position. We approach the 13.5-minute mark of the second quarter. And the Bombers leading by 57 points. Now, this is one of the worst displays I've ever seen a Collingwood side put up. But then we can't take any credit away from us. They've played superb football. We see streaking away as Zezza, but the umpire bringing it back. It'll be a free kick to Big Merritt out there on the centre wing position. His kick is over half forward. Chance for Fellow. Flying high that time was Van der Haar. He's already taken 9 marks. A hand pass from Taylor over to Shaw, and finally out to Mullane there on the half. He's their best player by far as he goes for a short pass. It'll be okay, and marked there by McMullen. McMullen's on the centre wing position, but a heck of a way from goal. There could be a 15-metre penalty here as we get over the 14-minute mark of this second quarter. Collingwood still trailing by 57 points. Flying high as Banks. There's a great mark. Well, I said Mullane, but Banks has tried very hard too. Waiting on Banks from about 45 metres out on a pretty acute angle. Waiting on Banks. And to say that Collingwood need a goal, there's a short pass coming up. It'll be all right. And once again, we see McMullen take the mark about 25 metres out from goal. On a pretty acute angle, there's a bit of a box on down there between Richardson and Clark. Andrews and Duckworth are having a go. Well, they're two old sparring partners. They're mates. They were mates. At least he's having a go. That's pretty important as far as Collingwood's concerned, Pete.
Andrews already signalling a goal. Look at him.
Just watching Richardson and Clark. It'll be interesting to see if Richardson squares, if Clark squares up.
Has he got it? I think he's missed it, actually. And Bill Duckworth gives Andrews the raspberry. Andrews says something back to him. Left to have a microphone out there. It's 13-2 to 3-6.
After a hard day's work, nothing beats a long, cold Carlton draft. You'll find him somewhere back in nowhere. Way out there is where you'll find him. 50 dusty miles to go and 100 more behind him. There's nobody born can beat him on a horse that's bred to run. And he doesn't have to prove a thing, not one damn thing to anyone. Give me a beer, a Carlton draft. Want the coldest one you've got. I've got a thirst that's gonna need some special care. Give me a beer, a Carlton draft, 'cause it's brewed to be the best. With a Carlton draft, you know the flavor's there. Carlton draft's another name for real draft beer. And there's nothing beats a long, cold Carlton draft.
Darren Gauci, you gonna have a flutter?
You've gotta have a flutter on the cup.
Tats Melbourne Cup Lottery. $10 could win you $600,000.
The biggest ever new car sale starts 9 a.m. this Wednesday. It's the Nissan Grand Final Savings Marathon. Here's Lou to tell you more about it.
That's right. Nissan dealers will want to end the footy season on a high note. So it'll be the best time ever to buy a new Nissan. Savings will be unbelievable. And dealers will stay open as long as it takes you to get into one of their cars. It all starts this Wednesday and ends with the Bounce the Ball Grand Final Day.
Come alive, come and drive Nissan.
What's this?
For an extra $15 on your premium, Double AMI will insure you against losing your rating 1 in an accident that's your fault. Double AMI, rating 1 protection. So call Amy. We keep our promises.
That was terrific.
Someday, Richard O'Sullivan, that man about the house, is now father about the house in Me and My Girl. Be there. Sunday at 8, bless this house with Sid James. The best of British, Sunday night from 7:30, only on 7.
Would be nice to actually hear what the two of them are saying.
A few bleeps, I think. Beautiful kick by Duckworth. Up towards centre wing. Abernathy, he's had a very quiet afternoon. Then again, a lot of teammates we can put in the same category. Hawker on centre wing. Up to half forward. Oh, yes, good mark. The Toomey plays on and gets caught by Baker holding the ball. No. Oh, should have been.
He played on for sure, Pete.
Yes, he certainly did.
Well, ball up at half forward. Make up your own mind on that. Here it is in replay. Now, good mark, and he plays on.
Certainly does.
A bounce. It favours Abernathy. His kick is smothered. Neville Shaw to Tony Shaw. He's scragged by Harvey. Umpire has found a free kick. On the shoulder is the adjudication. And Tony Shaw to take the free kick a little bit short of centre field. Collingwood badly needing some goals. That's the understatement of the year. On the shoulder that could have been to McMullen. The umpire says no. Ball scooped out to Williams. Williams at half-back. Goes towards centre wing. Plenty of Essendon players are there. Thompson nearly spilt the mark, but away he goes.
Thompson looking for a lead, but goes for the high kick. Looking for Big Madden at the back is Phillips. Oh, there's nearly a mark. Yes, it is a mark to McCormick. Collingwood defence is hopeless today, and they've been so good the last couple of weeks. A short pass to Tony Shaw, and he's got the mark.
Or free kick.
And Watson down here, but he had the mark before he got on the scene. A quick hand pass coming over to Brown. The ball out wide towards the half-forward line. A chance for Banks to mark. He doesn't hesitate. He gets away from Walsh. He's looking for a lead up to Andrews again, and Duckworth both positioning to get the ball as the ball comes down out of Harvey. A hurried kick out towards the Hawker on that half-back line. He spins out of the pack. He's grabbed, but still breaks away that time from Banks. Goes for a short pass. It's a good one marked here by Bradley. And the Bombers go back into attack again. Flying high as Phillips. Over the top of Van Haar. He's playing it to Van Haar, the mark.
Yes, well, you must punch when you're in defence, Lou. And if you're behind, a fatal mistake by Phillips. Overconfidence.
Waiting now for Van Haar. That's mark number 10. He's played a great first half, but the umpire's called a 15-metre penalty here, I think. Or was he going to bring it back again? Now he's going to bring it back for Van der Haar to have that kick at centre half forward. 80 points Essendon to Collingwood 24. And we are approaching the 18-minute mark of this second quarter. We wait now for Van der Haar. He can nearly kick it from here too, the way he's playing. I'm not kidding on that bum. He's in top form. There's the ball up there towards the full forward position. Madden flies high. It hits the deck. Oh, beautifully scouted out that time by Baker. A snap at goal, but he's off target, and it goes through for 1 point. So it's Essendon 13 goals, 3. How is that for kicking? 81 points to Collingwood, 3 goals, 6-24. And we're just over the 18-minute mark of this, the second quarter, and Collingwood in plenty of trouble.
Watson, they might be in more trouble here. Harvey from right half forward flank has gone for a long shot at goal. It's coming around, but not far enough, and through for 1 behind. Scoreboard, 13-4 to 3-6. 82 plays 24. As Gary Shaw comes back onto the ground, replacing Derek Shaw. Van der Haar in front, Harvey behind. Harvey's kick is a short one. It rebounds out to Watson, who runs straight into Barham, drops the ball, surely. And there will be a free kick to Barham.
He did kick it though.
He actually kicked that,
yes, but we don't know when the whistle went, do we?
Well, he still kicked it.
Van der Haar, best on the ground. And that's why. Mark taken by Thompson. Van der Haar, 5 goals himself.
Williams on his own now.
Too easy, isn't it? And Williams about 20 metres out from goal, if that. Has yet to score a goal, but should be able to kick his first here. Which he has done, I think, or has he just missed it? No, it's a goal. And Williams putting through his first goal, so Essendon go further ahead, 14-4, 88 to 3-6, 24.
You can get it riding. You can get it sliding. You can feel it coming on about 4. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. Vic Bitter. You can get it walking. You can get it talking. You can get it working a plow. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
When I suggested the budget executives do some training before work, they thought I was kidding. Now, they're not so sure. Feeling fitter hasn't hurt them, and it's typical of the budget approach that also asks our execs to spend at least one day a month behind the actual rental desk, keeping in touch with the people who really count, the customers. It's just another way that budget drives your dollar further.
One burger, please. One burger, please.
Most places seem to make burgers as if people all have exactly the same taste.
One burger, please.
But at Red Rooster, we realise there's more to life than just beef. Take our delicious chicken, cheese and bacon burger, or our tempting tropical chicken burger, or our new mouth-watering fisherman's fillet. So if you've got a beef about burgers, come and see Red Rooster, because people have different tastes, so do our burgers. Thank goodness.
Every payday, everywhere in Australia, millions of people count on cash in their pay packet. They count on cash for its convenience. They count on cash because it's easier to control their money. And they count on cash to give them a bit of bargaining power. After all, you've never really been paid until you've got cash. You can count on cash, and you can count on Armaguard.
Stop taking them for granted. Your comfy blue jeans have had a fascinating journey through history. Denim was born in France. It sailed the Atlantic with Columbus. It went to the goldfields and won new fans hugging the hips of Hollywood superstars. Today, denim is a giant multi-million-dollar industry, dressing everyone from prisoners to presidents. The image, the technology, the high fashion, the rip-offs. Blue Jeans Babies premieres 7:30 Monday on 7.
Body up whatsoever.
64 points the difference, if my mathematics are correct, at the 20-minute mark of the quarter. That's only the second too, by the way. Mullane can't pick it up. Essendon skipper Terry Danaher can, up to Ezard at half-forward, who shoots out a 20-metre hand pass. Thompson at right half-forward flank. Neville Shaw's attempted smother, not successful, down towards full forward. McCormack is there, though, for Collingwood. Gets the run of the ball, trying to get clear of Baker. The hand pass is on to Taylor, who fumbles. Taylor to Brown, in trouble. He's almost checked by Ezard, but he gets clear. Brown's kick up the centre wing.
And it's out towards the centre wing, but there's Danaher. At the back is Merritt. Merritt's got to pick it up. He stumbles, but still gets a hand pass out to Hawker. There's plenty of Bombers scouting out all day here today. Up towards Madden. The ball hits the deck going after his Taylor. It's on the boundary line. It's still a bit of a scrimmage there, and the umpire will ball it up about 60 metres out from the Essendon goal. And there's will be a throw in. 14 goals, 488. The Collingwood 3 goals, 624. Neagle off the ground and fouls on for Essendon, but it doesn't matter who comes on the ground now. They're going that easy. They could have about 4 off, and Collingwood still wouldn't keep up with them. Umpire said it'll be a free kick to Little Thompson. He takes the free kick out there on the centre wing position. Shoots it across the centre half-forward. There's Van der Haar again. Nearly grabbed that one. As the ball comes back to Phillips, taken away from him by Mullane. Over to Fellows. Fellows goes out wide to the wing position, but there's no one there for Collingwood. This allows Clark to go for a short pass. It'll be, Hawker's grabbed it. Too late on the scene was Abernathy. He's having a bad day today too. He's only had 3 touches. As the ball goes short, it'll be okay. And Timmy Watson getting away from his man to take an easy mark. But they're having a ball down there on the forward line. That Collingwood defence is so loose, it's unbelievable.
Van der Haar in the hands of the trainers behind play. Lewis Ezard comes off for Bahagia.
We wait now for Timmy Watson. From about 35 metres out, going for goal number 2. There it is on its way, but it's off target through for 1 point. So the Bombers move on to 14-589. The Collingwood 3-6-24. Well, Van der Haar, sensational first half for the Bombers. One of the best games we've seen him play since he joined the club. And he's certainly living up to that reputation as the Flying Dutchman. There's a short pass, it's okay, and it's marked here by Toomey. Out there towards the Collingwood half-back. Another short pass out to Mullane. Mullane and Foles go for this one. Good play on the part of Mullane. Thank heavens they got him playing there, and Ronnie Andrews and Banks on the forward line. Richardson hardly sighted today. Gets around, he's a part of okay. Clark goes for a short pass. Oh, Gary Shaw overruns. That's about the 3rd miss he's had today. Finally a hand pass from Thompson back to Gary Shaw. Now Bahajar's on the ground. He's grabbed twice, but it doesn't matter. Backing up as usual as Merritt, or one of the Essendon players. Big fellows couldn't hold that mark. Madden falls on top of the ball, and the umpire will ball it up about 45 metres out from the Essendon goal. We're just over the 23-minute mark, and it's Essendon 14-589 to Collingwood 3 goals, 6-24. There's John Cale looking very, very grim.
Look much grimmer. Then again, the scoreboard couldn't look much worse for them. 65 points the difference as we await a bounce as centre-half forward for Essendon. 23.5 minutes have gone only in the second quarter. Shouldn't be any problems getting out of the car park here tonight. I think most of the Collingwood fans would go home at half-time. Picked up by Hawker. Hawker up to Watson. Watson's gone for a short pass down towards Van der Haar. He's just about got the mark, couldn't take it. He plays on. Taylor's right there with him. The ball shoveled out of bounds, and it will be a boundary throw in a right forward pocket for Essendon. Crowd a little bit quiet. Understandable. Knocked down by Farrows. Toomey's knock on intended to find Taylor, couldn't do so. Harvey paddles it out of bounds. On the floor, that was kicked. So it's a free kick to Harvey.
Harvey tapped it down onto the boot of the Collingwood player.
They can't do a thing right, Pete. He'd called that a bit of bad luck.
I think he tapped the ball back and it hit the boot of Taylor.
Shot at goal by Harvey. He's probably kicked it through for a goal. Oh, goodness me. 2 goals to Harvey. He's got a grin from ear to ear. 15-5 to 3-6.
Pete, when you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. That is the saying here today. There's no doubt about that. One of the best performances we've seen the Bombers put up. But then again, one of the worst performances we've seen it put up by a Collingwood side.
Well, there's a beautiful shot by our cameraman. And Harvey tapping the ball back into play. Almost no fault of Taylor's whatsoever. And then just to rub salt into the wounds, it goes right to the centre.
71 points the difference. We approach the time-on period of the second quarter. Knocked down by Farrows. Bahaja, that's the tallest man on the ground and the shortest. Bahaja's kick is a short one. In front is Weston, couldn't take the mark. Dacos. Mullane, easily Collingwood's best player. He and Roddy Andrews with Banks, about the only 3 firing. Up to Gary Shaw. Bradbury's right there with him. Paddled further forward by Neville Shaw. He'll go for a hand pass to Abernathy, who's had a dirty day. Abernathy only 4 kicks up to half forward, the mark taken by Thompson.
Well, that was a bad kick by Abernathy. Never looked at all as the ball goes back there to Fowles. A hand pass coming out to Hawker. They're all firing for the Bombers as the ball goes across the centre half forward. There's Vander. Oh, golly, did he jump that time? Phillips fumbled the ball. It comes out to Richardson, but he's too slow. He's made a lot of mistakes today, too, as it's finally picked up by Williams. Running to an open goal and fires, but the little Rovers up target and through for 1 point. Well, the Collingwood Stars of the last 2 matches, Richardson, Abernathy and Dacos, I think they've had about 11 kicks between them. So they're really down the drain today. 15-6 plays 3-6. And when you're a real champ, that's the time to lift your game, when things are against the side. So the ball finally goes out there and a good mark taken by Harvey. Harvey with a short pass. Intercepted by McEwen. Taps it down to Dacos out there in the back pocket. Oh, he gets around Danaher. Finally goes for the long kick out there looking for Banks at the back as Walsh goes for the mark. It's a great mark to Walsh. Short pass. Plenty of Bombers. Danaher. And this Collingwood defence has crumbled about a quarter ago. It's fallen to pieces rapidly. Danaher's already kicked 2 goals, but everyone down that forward line seems to be kicking goals. Van der Haar's kicked 5 for the game and Baker 4. And I think Watson's kicked 1. There's the kick on its way. Doesn't quite make the distance. The pack fly. It hits the deck again and the ball is out of bounds in the forward pocket position. Just on the 27-minute mark, it's Essendon 15-6, 96. Golly, I feel ashamed to read this score. Collingwood 3 goals, 6-24. The ball back into play again. Knocked out by Fellows. Not a good one. Chance now for Dacos to get a hand pass over to Taylor. Hardly been sighted too. He's made quite a few fumbles as the ball comes out to Phillips and Van der Haar. Doesn't matter they put on Van der Haar. He cleans them all up. Phillips a little slow to get rid of it. Goes for a hand pass. It comes towards the wing position. Hawker carts it over the line and the ball is out of bounds up towards the centre wing position. Still the score, 96 plays 24. A difference of what, 72 points. Well, we see one of the Essendon players upended that time. I think it might have been heard from Shaw. The ball finally knocked out to Shaw again. His foot got in the way and the ball is out of bounds again. Still on the centre wing position. Roddy Andrews has kicked their entire score of goals 3, and it's a fantastic effort considering the amount of times the ball's been down to the Collingwood forward line. Well, out of position that time was Richardson. This allows Danaher to go for a short pass, looking for Big Madden. In front of his McCormick. He overruns the ball. Now Madden's got a chance to tap it over to Watson. Watson's still there. He gets a hand pass back. Little Williams falls on top of the ball. They certainly won't let Collingwood get it, and the umpire will ball it up. He's paying a free kick to McCormick.
Holding the ball he paid against Williams, who gets up limping. McCormack goes wide towards the outer side. Harvey and Abernethy, has he got the mark? Would appear not. The umpire will bounce it pretty well on centre wing. Time on being played in the second quarter, 28.5 minutes gone. Not too far from half-time. View of the scoreboard, might be a good idea to make a cup of tea. Williams up to half forward. Richardson was there. Useful turn. Oh, shocking hand pass though. Toomey. Oh, goodness me, Taylor fumbles. It's left to Tony Shaw. And of course Bradbury is there. Up to Thompson. On the practice game for Essendon at the moment. That is much pressure. Walker up the centre wing. Baker. Thompson. Clark. Name number 50 on to Gary Folds at half forward. Folds goes for the long kick. Trying to find Van der Haar. It's a real wrestle down there. Knocked away by Phillips. The umpire's found the free kick. And it's going to Phillips. As I said, it was a wrestle. He's decided to play it against Van der Haar. That's about the first thing he's done wrong all day. Let's look at it again. Well, that's a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, as I'd see it.
I wonder whether I'd call for a count if I was Collingwood, Lou.
I would too, but long ago.
No mark paid there. Richardson looking for a free kick for holding the ball. Ball finally scooped into the open spaces, picked up by Bahaja. His kick up to half forward. Baker marking in front of Toomey, decides to go for the hand pass to Watson, who shoots at goal. And Timmy Watson has put it through for his second. Essendon go further ahead. How easy is the preliminary final of 84? 16-6-102. The Bomber century coming up at the 30-minute mark of the second quarter. Collingwood 3-6-24.
Well, it doesn't matter where you look. Whichever Essendon player it is, you seem to find a winner all over the ground. And Timmy Watson, and a great player for Essendon. 165 games before today, and he is just cutting them to pieces.
The difference, 13 goals in favour of Essendon. Just over the 30-minute mark, the ball knocked out that time by Merritt. Down it goes again towards Watson. Is the umpire paying the mark? Yes, he is. And Watson goes for a hand pass. They're doing it so easy now. Over to Clark. There's one coming up to Matt, and he's got it. Well, the Bombers looking like a champion side. And it makes you wonder the gap between fourth and fifth sides against the two top sides, Essendon and Hawthorn. They're so far ahead it doesn't really matter. And that's been emphasised here today. There's the siren to end the second quarter. And the Bombers are sitting pretty. We wait now for Madden to have a shot at goal from about 35 metres out on a bit of an angle. There it is on its way. It'll be another goal. Yes, it is. So at half-time, it's Essendon 17-6, 108 for Collingwood. 3 goals, 6. Very ashamedly, I say, 24 points.
Let's pick up the closing stages of the match now, just after the 26-minute mark of the final term.
Can they keep it up for next week against the mighty Hawks? The ball hooked back that time again by Ezard. Grabbed by McCormick, a short pass coming over to Abernethy. Oh, it looks as though he could lose this one, but he finally gets a hand pass out there to Phillips, little short of half back. Now it's Richardson's turn to take the ball at half back. A long hand pass to Tony Shaw. He's been a battler all day too. Not so outstanding, but he's tried very hard as he finally gets it over to Brown. Brown goes for the long kick up there towards McEwen. In front, nearly grabbed the mark. The umpire says play on as Duckworth's first to recover. Good play on the part of Duckworth as he gets it over to Weston. Out it goes towards Foles. Foles and Barham having a great battle there. Foles still won't give it, neither will Barham, and the ball is finally tapped out of bounds. Still on Collingwood's half-forward line, about 75 metres around from their goal. 26 goals, 6, 162 Essendon. To Collingwood, 5 goals, 11-41 as we approach the 27.5-minute mark of this, the last quarter. And the Bombers will be in the grand final against Hawthorn. Bahaja with a beautiful pass has found Baker. And Baker's already kicked 5 goals. Another short pass to Williams. Just about the best player on the ground. And a million kicks. Another long kick by Williams. Up there to Matt. Couldn't hold the mark. Danaher comes in. Grabbed by Phillip, but still tries to get the ball on. Kicked off the ground that time by McCormick, and it's out of bounds about 30 metres around from the Essendon goal. 26 goals, 6, 162 the Bombers to Collingwood, 5 goals, 11. 41 at the 28-minute mark of this last quarter.
Collingwood fans, I'm sure, Lou, hoping that it will not be a very long quarter. But at least since half-time, at half-time we saw an 84-point margin, and Collingwood have applied some pressure, but Essendon have done what they like, as it's Baker now. After it's smothered off the boot, and Baker's going goalward with goal number 6 to Leon Baker, and a very successful move by Kevin Sheedy. Baker selected in the centre, shifted to the forward pocket, and 6 goals. A very happy Leon Baker as we watch on replay. It's Sevens big league. The ball smothered off the boot of Tim Watson, and Baker once again making no mistake. 6 goals to Baker, 5 to Paul van der Haar, and again on replay, it's Baker putting the ball through. Centre bounce. Walsh now in the ruck for Essendon. Doesn't quite take it, got a push in the back. Ezard comes in, gets it back towards Walsh. Walsh a quick hand pass to Bahaja. He has plenty of time to steady. Puts a beautiful pass out to Watson, who'll play on immediately. Watson goes for the short pass. Harvey there, and it's good to see Harvey as the siren goes. Harvey, who went for a mark only about 5 minutes ago, came down heavily, and with the scoreboard saying 168 to 41, Harvey will attempt to kick goal number 4 personally.
And welcome along on preliminary final Sunday morning. Essendon versus Collingwood, the first finals clash between these two famous clubs since 1965. That was a preliminary final encounter too, and a very famous one featuring the famous Somerville-Wright clash. Essendon went on to win the game in very convincing fashion, but in 1984 that accounted for nil. Neither did the fact that Essendon, with an 18-4 home and away win-loss record, were going into the finals a vastly better performed team than Collingwood, who had won 13 only, 5 less than Essendon in the home and away series. The Magpies had started the final series in very fine fashion, accounting for Fitzroy and then Carlton in brilliant fashion. Essendon, on the other hand, had played one of the really great games against Hawthorn last Sunday at the MCG, but they'd gone down, and so they now faced Collingwood on equal terms in the preliminary final. Well, a couple of questions. Had Essendon had the stuffing knocked out of them in such a hard game, and could they come up for another big encounter? On the other hand, how much had Collingwood improved since their losses against Essendon in the home and away series? Well, the Magpies lost Jeff Rains before the match, so he, along with Mark Williams and David Cloke, had to watch Collingwood battle it out from the sidelines. At VFL Park, 73,550 spectators. We picked the preliminary final up right at the first bounce, and with me in commentary, Drew Morford and Mike Fitzpatrick.
Bounce of the ball by umpire Rowan Soares, in charge of this game with Peter Cameron, the preliminary final. Simon Madden up with first hands to the ball. Clog up in the middle. Umpire Cameron calls for it and will ball up again.
The Woods have won their last 3 preliminary finals. A record diametrically opposed to their own in grand finals, and one they'll be hoping to preserve in this clash with Essendon. So a second ball up, or a third in fact, in the first 30 seconds of the game, and it's Shaw and Madden. This time Madden works it clear, straight to Williams. The whistle's on play though. It's Essendon's way. So the Dons take possession of the ball in the centre of the ground, and the first clean kick goes to Essendon. In fact, a hand pass, Madden to Neagle, who goes long after having a look towards full forward. Ezard takes a free kick. Merritt couldn't hang on to the mark. Shocking kick by Ezard, all Collingwood. Bad bounce though favours van der Haar. Brown too quick at ground level. Out to Tony Shaw, and Collingwood out of trouble after a moment of crisis.
And Mullane at half-back sweeps it over the top to centre wing. Abernethy playing in the centre in the absence of Rains. On to Neville Shaw, great tackle, Bradbury. and Essendon come out with it. Didn't need the free kick. Well played, Peter Bradbury. Ezard's kick to half forward to Van der Haar, and Van der Haar's got the mark. In between wing and half forward. His kick for Danaher. Good mark. Still a long way from goal.
Yes, too far to score, and because of that, he goes short. Oh, great mark by McEwen over Williams. Well done to Tony Shaw. Nicely off to Toomey, who from half-back kicks up towards the wing, doesn't quite reach the centre line, but Neville Shaw makes the kick good by marking well. Now the ball is beyond the centre line. Good spoil from Walsh, negates Banks's effort, and a throw-in on the wing. Excellent ground-level conditions at VFL Park after all the rain during the week.
Madden comes from behind. Williams ducks his head, misses with a hand pass, close to the boundary line now. Eventually the whistle goes and the umpire will ball it up just inside the line. Interchange for Essendon, Harvey and Bahagia, and Rains hasn't taken his place for Collingwood.
Mike, I thought very surprising Madden wasn't penalised then. Seemed to be in the back.
It was surprising. I think they're very loath to give kicks in the ruck at the moment, early in the game.
Body jostling here. Madden wins beautifully to Williams, but he was well tackled by Abbott. No, he wasn't. Abernethy pushed him in the back, says umpire Cameron. Or was it Soars? It was umpire Soars. There's the kick to half forward. Derek Shaw, the big leaper at the back. Barham into attack for Collingwood. Gary Shaw first to the ball. Down the ground there's a player. Andrews calling for it. Professional free kick given. Gary Shaw takes it behind half forward. McEwen, a long way up. Very awkward looking kick, and it's a high floater. Andrews, a beauty.
Andrews very strong on that occasion, using his body very well, pushing Hurd out. If Hurd's going to be the man to watch Andrews, he's certainly going to need to be prepared to get away from him and try and reach across to get the punch in. Certainly in a man-to-man body duel like that one, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Surprising to see a player of such low physical strength given the job on Andrews, who kicks beautifully, and what a psychological blow for Collingwood.
So, out of the screen, people probably won't realise the extent to which that professional free kick was given. There was a Collingwood player very free on the half-forward flank, and if Shaw had been able to get the ball on before the free kick was given, it would have been a certain goal anyway. As it turned out, Shaw had to give the ball away, went across to McEwen. He kicked it very nicely with the torpedo punt, carried a little further than everybody else thought, and Andrews took an excellently judged mark. A couple of interesting things. McEwen is already sitting across half-back on his own. Sheedy's clearly got a spare player playing midfield, and Cales decided to leave McEwen in the back half.
Collingwood 1 goal on the board after Ron Andrews marked them goal. Mullane, who's been starring for Collingwood since his inclusion in the side just late in the season. Barham's hand pass intercepted by Baker. On to Watson. Williams. Good low pass out to half-forward flank. Drops short of Van der Haar, though. Phillips on him. Brown for Collingwood. Dashes away. Short pass to the wing to Banks. Good spoil, Walsh. Brown again. Didn't have anyone to give it to. Van der Haar for Essendon. Back to Walsh, who followed up. Across the half-forward line. Watson, too far out to score. Pauses, puts it out in front of Baker. Should be a goal. Leon Baker to level the scores, and he's done it.
Well, that was superb skill by Baker. He was on the left foot. A Collingwood player coming at him, and he really wasn't phased at all. Here we see the setup for it. Walsh pushing the ball across to Watson. Watson just using that little bit of pace that he's got, that sort of waddle. He just manages to shake players off, gives it across to Leon Baker. And Baker, although the Collingwood player was nearby, was just had that little bit of poise, didn't worry about it, concentrated on the shot for goal and put it in.
All square. This time Shaw beats Madden, but Williams sharks it and kicks long, but not accurately. McEwen forced to go the spoil. Ezard cleverly off the ground. Strong tackle. Baker wins the free kick. Not only that, he hurt Taylor. Merritt leading out into the pocket. Baker goes direct towards Ezard, who is penalised. Reckless leap. never in good position for it, and the free kick goes to McEwen in the last line of defence.
Another professional free kick given by the Essendon players.
Third kick to McEwen, short of centre wing. Derek Shaw comes down to Richardson. Great pass, Banks is there at half forward. Walsh beats him again. Going great guns, Kevin Walsh. Towards Danaher, spoiled by Toomey. All Essendon on the floor. Folds. Great pass to Madden. Awkward bounce, but he's got support. Neagle. Good running by Merv Neagle. Hesitates. De Van der Haar, 45 metres. Beauty.
It's a fine goal by Van der Haar, nicely set up midfield by the Essendon players. Certainly a couple of times now we've seen their running really rip the Collingwood side apart. Nagel coming down the ground to bounce, trying to force Phillips, trying to draw Phillips. Phillips finally came forward, leaving Van der Haar in the space, and then the left foot shot for goal.
Bit of deja vu about that. Mike scored in almost identical fashion.
Yes. Good running.
8 minutes gone, the Dons in front. A bad bounce so the smaller players can go for it. Mullane beautifully off to Tony Shaw, who kicks with the wrong boot and kicks further than he normally does with the left. Was that a push in the back? Not ruled so. Duckworth goes the subterranean kick and did it well. To Hurd, good Shepherd Neagle. Sets it up for Hurd, gives him 10 metres. Williams, back to Hurd. Dacos with the late tackle, forced the error. And Collingwood win a free kick for holding the ball against Hurd. Great endeavour by Dacos, and he then delivers nicely and finds Mullane.
Breaking from centre wing. Short pass off the left boot. Bounces off Banks. Gee, Walsh is really getting in there and using his body well. Umpire comes in and will ball it up right in the corner of the centre square.
Not a huge looking frame, that of Kevin Walsh, but he is using it. Beautifully Madden to Neagle, who's in the action again. To the centre. Danaher late, and Tony Shaw with immense courage takes the mark. Out wide to McEwen, who's running well out of defence, but gets himself into trouble. Back whence it came to Shaw. Gary Shaw spills a sitter and folds. Emerges to Watson. But the ball just runs away from him. Throw in, half forward flank for the Dons.
Should be a great battle between Watson and Tony Shaw. Shaw, who's won most possessions in the VFL this season. Phillips couldn't grab it. Umpire Soares comes in and will ball it up. Essendon 2 goals, Collingwood 1. 9.5 minutes played in the first term. And look at the condition of VFL Park. Absolutely amazing considering the wet week that we've had in Melbourne. Pulled off the ball to me when he didn't have it. Free kick.
From half-back, call from Phillips for the hand pass, but he goes with the foot and finds McEwen, who is covering the back half of the ground like a greyhound at the moment.
Look at that professional 15 yards. Essendon are very good at this, been the best side of all year, but they continue to give 15 yards simply to hold the ball coming forward.
Well, he must have awarded about 60 against Merritt because he's brought him from centre half back into Collingwood's attacking half. McEwen kicks long. Andrews with 2 to beat. Madden at the back got the fist away. Richardson and Dacos were on it. Richardson the kick. Couldn't get enough hook on it. It's the first behind of the preliminary final to Collingwood. The Magpies trail by 5 points.
Duckworth, who did such a great job last week on Matthews. Ball flicked out Essendon's way. Goes to Hawker. Back to Neagle. From half-back, he's kicked towards the wing. And Danaher with Toomey. And out for a throw-in.
Interesting approach to the ball there by Ronnie Andrews, I thought, on Simon Madden.
Looks like a good old nudge, but the umpire didn't see it. Derek Shaw against Madden. Madden's had the better of it, but this time Shaw wins well to Mullane, who's beautifully smothered. Hawker, the player really getting over the ball and holding it up on the wing. So, another throw-in.
Collingwood running right to left have a slight breeze in the first quarter. Left-hand end was the scoring end in the reserves, won clearly by Carlton. Hooked up towards half forward. Collingwood free kick. Phillips held. To the centre of the ground to Gary Shaw. He's dropped a couple of marks, letting Essendon in. Williams paddles the ball out, goes lightly in front of Baker. Beautiful pass right on the chest of Van der Haar. Essendon players free on the forward line. Danaher doubles back, but the two Essendon players hit the ground. Phillips keeps his footing and comes out of the back pocket.
Wonderful play by Phillips, who flew in awkward position, gathered his own knockdown and then kicked beautifully to Taylor, who finds Derek Shaw off half-back. Oh, he kicks it into the clouds. Not good delivery to his forwards. Walsh again, well tackled by Dacos, but off to Neagle. Bradbury through the middle. Lovely delivery to Van der Haar, who's looking dangerous. Low towards Merritt, 2 to beat. Beautifully rowed by Baker, his second goal. Very quiet last week, but hasn't he started in style as he puts Essendon 11 points to the good.
Yes, 4 kicks already to Baker and 2 goals, and he's becoming a very influential player in the game. Took that ball very well off the pack and put it through, but I think Tim really hit the nail on the head there, where the high kick that nearly went to the clouds really didn't give the Collingwood forwards much of a chance, and it came back very quickly into the Essendon forward line, finished off by Baker.
Essendon with a big break and kicking into the breeze. Madden wins down to Hawker. It was going to be the Bombers free, allowed to play on. Hawker's long high kick. Out comes McCormack, spoils a teammate. Baker in front again, coming up for a hat-trick. He's got it!
That was good centre-bounce work, I guess, by the Essendon players, but also mistakes by Collingwood players are really the things that have set up a couple of the goals here. That was another one. The ball there being dropped, picked up by Baker, roving very well, and putting it straight on the foot. His 5th kick, his 3rd goal. 2 within a minute.
Great break to Essendon, 17-point lead at the 14-minute mark, and Madden has dominated the ruck work. Watson, oh, beautifully done to half-forward. Williams with 2 to beat, and he did it cleverly to the back of the pack, but Mullane was the rover for Collingwood. Not a good left foot kick, but he finds Tony Shaw, backward of the wing, over the top, Barham from the wing, Richardson, hemmed in, well done, good handball. Banks, hurried kick. Bounced inside, a throw in Collingwood's left forward pocket. Moved it pretty well, but there was always pressure on them, and there was never an easy kick in the exchange.
Weston on to Andrews.
And Hurd now has Dacos, so he's had 2 big jobs in the last 2 weeks. Russell Green and Peter Dacos. Madden wins, Hurd fumbles, it's knocked away from him, he'll take a free. From the back pocket, Essendon 4 goals, Collingwood 1-1. Short pass could be dangerous. Clark, beautiful hand pass. Weston covering ground from defence, putting it out in front of Bradbury. This is danger. Bradbury dashes away from Mullane, bouncing the ball. Oh, Mullane did well, but he decked him after he got rid of the kick. Relayed free kick, and Mullane being spoken to. Quickly taken by Williams. Van der Haar a chance. No, the umpire's going to make Darren Williams go back and take his kick again. Not sure why.
No, I would have thought advantage was surely the call there. And it could have been a goal to Essendon, because if Van der Haar could have held the mark, well, surely Essendon were being penalised by having the ball brought back. Lead, Danaher.
Well, Toomey's just been taken off the ground, who was tagged Danaher, and Morwood's come onto him, and immediately Danaher starts to play a role.
Very kickable. He's only 40 metres out. The Bombers can't miss.
Well, the Bombers can't miss, but they have been approaching the goals very directly. The ball's been coming right down the centre of the ground, and they've had players in space either running into goals with a bit of room to move, or in that case, set shots from pretty well straight in front. Good pass from Williams after getting the relayed free kick, and Danaher an excellent lead. One of the great things about the Essendon side is the way they will give the ball to those sort of people in space.
A big lead for the Bombers into the breeze in the first quarter. 5 goals to 1-1. Abernethy out of the middle. Gary Shaw just can't get a handle on the ball yet. Here's McMullen, who's starred in a couple of finals games for Collingwood, to Banks outnumbered. Walsh knocks it away. Banks regathers. Hasn't got it yet, but well played, Dennis Banks. McMullen lost it to Hawker. Folds. Shovels it out in the direction of Clark. Out wide to Bradbury, just forward of the wing. Trouble. Ooh, slips Morwood just. Bradbury time to settle. Too high for Van der Haar. Oh, Vander taps on delightfully. Here's Baker again. Beautiful play, Leon Baker. Short pass to Van der Haar, and didn't he cover ground?
I've got the feeling, Mike, that Collingwood don't know what's hit them. No, I don't think they do, and certainly Essendon have come out. Every time the ball hits the ground, it's really the Essendon players that are in there first, and whenever the packs are there, it's the Essendon player that's last up off the ground. They're really attacking the ball a lot harder than the Collingwood side, and they're being rewarded for it.
I watched young McMullen as he went to the ground on Collingwood's half-forward line. He was besieged by Essendon players, and there was a look of total confusion on his face, as if he just did not know what he was about. This is a different game altogether than the two he's been confronted with in the last couple of weeks. And what a great mark by Van der Haar, who has started this game with all the skills that we know he can produce. Folds now, kicks to full forward. Roving the pack, Watson. Essendon in with the bodies. Ezard. McCormack, Derek Shaw, hurried kick again. Barham versus Bradbury. Oh, Barham. Shaw, Banks over the top. Neville Shaw. But the pressure is there. Walsh, brilliantly. Hawker. Oh, and this is great football, Essendon. Out wide, Danaher. Morwood, a good late spoil, and follows up. Neville Shaw out in the open. Hawker bearing down. Barham covering a lot of ground. Pressure from Hurd. Flying shot for goal. Hit the post.
Well, the disappointing thing there was, of course, that Shaw was sitting in the goal square and Barham elected to go. He was running straight into goal, but he was on an awkward angle. Could have really pushed that ball across to Shaw.
Bit of a gallop out of defence by Duckworth. Folds. Won't be penalised for going out without being touched, because Duckworth kicked it to himself and then ran out of the goal square.
It's a tactic we saw him use last Sunday to good effect against a slower Lee Matthews. Madden, again a clean knock. Walsh, McMullen centres the ball, nothing there for the Woods. Weston, Neagle, all Essendon out of defence. Minor collision, but Neagle gets his kick towards Watson. Pushed, no, Watson paddles on, but Mullane chips in, gets around the umpire. Poor kick. Williams takes it in more ways than one, but bounces up.
15 against Banks. Williams from a standing start. Danaher the focal point. Neagle going past. Wide open for the Bombers. Told to go long by Van der Haar. He's run a long way. Short pass, he's been penalised. He took the ball too far. Free kick to McEwen.
Good decision too. Neagle probably ran about 10 metres further than that once last week without being penalised, but had to go that time. Tony Shaw. Again, the pressure was there and the kick wasn't a very effective one. Essendon getting to the ball in 3s and 4s, but this time Collingwood went out. Mullane onto Gary Shaw. Dacos. Now Weston. Well done. Took the risk. Hurd. Clark. All space out there. Clark with 30 metres. Thompson. Van der Haar missed an easy one, but used the body a treat. Watson with strength. Couldn't quite hold, and away goes Tony Shaw.
This will be a great battle, Shaw and Watson. Tapped away by Neville Shaw, who was legged by Duckworth, and he'll take the free kick.
Duckworth really is going to be in a little bit of trouble here. He's done that twice, and he's also picked off one player behind the play, and he's really going to have to be very careful.
Bombers leading 5-1 to 1-2. 21 minutes gone in the first term. Andrews. Well, Rough Ronnie played only one game during the whole season in the home and away games for Collingwood. He's played all 3 finals. and has played a big part in all of them.
Yes, that was certainly very effective. Just a sidelight here, umpire Cameron talking with Duckworth after the last couple of incidents.
Andrews got the first goal for Collingwood. And now he's got both their goals.
And pretty much came the same way as the first Collingwood goal. There was a professional free kick given up the field by the Essendon players. The Collingwood player back, in this case Shaw, and put a long torpedo in. And once again, the torpedoes just give that little bit of extra penetration. Can be used if you know you've got a man down the end who can do something with it. Andrews got himself in good position, read the flight of the ball very well and marked easily.
So an important goal, but Essendon still with a nice advantage. Neagle to Madden, and again the Dons take it away out of the centre. Van der Haar in good position. Ezard goes the long way. A call from Baker. He centres towards him. Has to knock on. Watson didn't get the bounce. Taylor was under pressure. Tony Shaw. Gary Shaw. Back to the centre to Banks. Good spoil, Walsh. Cleverly roped in. Folds. Danaher. Strong attempt from Phillips, but Danaher in good position, marked well.
15-metre penalty against Phillips. Danaher doesn't use it. Gets Williams. Too far out to score. Sixth kick for Williams. Merritt with McCormack. Tap for Watson. Good gather. Hook back, but it won't make it. Taylor is there. Under hot pressure. Gets good support from Brown. Great hand pass to Abernethy. Beautiful kick for Neville Shaw with Duckworth. Walsh playing his 50th. He's caught by Barra. Holding the ball. Free kick to Barra.
Better pressure from the Magpies then. Banks in good position. Slipping Walsh that time, who was on the mark. And Banks is at centre half forward. Too far out, but he goes long. Here's danger for Essendon. Easy. Oh, centre. McMullen.
And the Collingwood players really couldn't believe it. Should have been marked.
Weston's kick in. All Essendon out there. Unmarked a couple of players. Thompson, who was named as an interchange, started in the 18. Donnell not taking his place. Van der Haar on his chest. Crash. Down goes Abernethy. Has been pretty quiet so far after a great day last Sunday. Watson. Goes for the short pass to Baker. Well, Leon Baker is just getting in the clear so often. He kicked 3 goals in the first 13 minutes. He's coming up for his 8th kick and might have 4 on the board in the opening 25 minutes. In front, but 50 metres out. He hasn't made the distance. Norwood.
Great blocking by McCormack.
Yes, Merritt double teamed then. And he couldn't get a go at the ball. Morwood from back pocket. Van der Haar, who's taken 6 mark already, was up there again, but Danaher roved it. Neagle. Starring on the wing. Can't go directly, has to chip it out wide to Thompson. Van der Haar. Beautiful kick!
Well, it's one of those ones that breaks the side's heart when the opposition put a goal through like Van der Haar did then. Ball coming off. Sorry. Ball coming off from Nagel to Thompson. He gave it away very quickly to Van der Haar, which was good football, and a very poor effort to spoil by McEwen. And it drifted right through. Van der Haar 8 kicks.
Goes to Abernethy. Good chase by Harvey just on. Look at the pressure Essendon are putting on. Persistence by Hawker. High kick, standing start. Baker again. Beautifully to Watson. Open goal for Tim Watson.
I guess that emphasises Essendon's superiority in this quarter out of the centre bounce. It really came out very, very quickly. Hawker putting it away. A long kick. Baker see himself up, and this is really professional football here by Baker. Great running by Watson. His 5th kick and another goal. But great play by Baker. He did absorb the plaudits for taking the mark. As soon as he saw the opportunity to Watson, he gave the handball off and set up another goal.
The Bombers rampant in the first quarter, 7 goals to 2. And again, Madden wins. Mullane got a high tackle. He's been a battler for Collingwood. It's his 5th kick. Goes short and finds Shaw. That's Derek Shaw. 1 of 4 in the Collingwood starting lineup. Andrews into the back of Weston. Shaw, Hurd. Harvey and Barham wins. On the half-forward flank.
2.5 minutes into time on. Collingwood badly needing a couple. Short pass to Banks, who's been pretty well held by Walsh so far. Banks, a good 50 metres from goal. Was always right and didn't have the distance. McMullen, the mark paid. It was a harder mark than the one he dropped a minute and a half ago, which should have set up a certain goal. It was a beauty.
It was easier in a way, Drew. Where he was in the goal square, I think he was waiting to see what was coming.
Improves the angle and kicks it behind.
Yes, I'm sure he doubled his effort there.
I think one can see the difference in the approach to goal. Essendon really are bringing the ball down very quickly and they're finding players in space. Collingwood are really struggling. They're coming up in a very static fashion into the forward line. Very slow.
43 plays 16. 27-point lead to the Dons as Weston goes to the outer side. Madden is the target, and what a fine effort against 2. And again, no fussing around. Straight off to Hurd. In short to Harvey. Essendon players covering the ground, and that's 15 metres against Morwood, who wasn't the man on the mark. Lovely delivery. Thompson. Inside is Clark. Beautiful delivery with the left hand. Van der Haar. I don't know whether he was the only option. I'm not quite sure whether he was the target. But Clark dropped it onto the left boot. There were Essendon players everywhere, and it was Van der Haar who got himself into position to take his 7th mark. 11 possessions in the first quarter. And 3 goals. The Bombers' first quarter score of 8 goals won was within a point of the record first quarter score in a preliminary final. However, as the day wore on, Essendon were to break many preliminary final and overall final records. Better was to come for the Dons in the second quarter. Tragically for Collingwood, much worse. We pick it up now at the start of the second term.
That's Thompson.
33-point lead to Essendon as the second quarter of the preliminary final starts. Watson puts the Dons straight into attack. Van der Haar in front. 2 spoilers this time. Taylor goes down. Ezard, the loose ball. Harvey, open goal! Started on the interchange bench, came on halfway through the first quarter, and the youngster kicks Essendon's 9th and puts them 39 points in front.
So again, it came out very quickly from the centre bounce through Watson. The ball eventually landing there in the full forward area.
Have a look at the tap by Merritt.
Ezard pushing the ball across, and then Merritt that tap. And it certainly looked as though it was intentional. It was excellent. Right on Harvey's chest, and Harvey just ran into an easy open goal.
Well, the Bombers Collingwood would have been revved up by coach John Cale at quarter time, but the Bombers got a goal in the first minute. Derek Shaw with the free. High to centre half forward. Andrews another chance. Did he push him out? The mark awarded. And Andrews really trying to drive it into Essendon. He's their only forward at the moment. He couldn't get a game for Essendon in the grand final last year, but now he's got a game for Collingwood against the Bombers. And finds Dennis Banks. Not much closer to goal. Into the slight breeze in this second quarter. 45 metres out. It holds up. Madden, Bradbury.
Just doing it at will. Walsh the spoil. Down goes Abernethy, and Walsh comes away with the ball. Kicks long. McEwen and Van der Haar. Watson, the swooper. Floating hand pass was superb to Ezard. Bad kick. He was put under pressure. Baker again with the left boot, and for once he misses after kicking 3 goals in the first quarter and giving 1 away. The Bombers in front by 40.
Looks like Morwood onto Baker. It's his third opponent.
McCormack kicks in for Morwood. Outnumbered all the time, Collingwood. Baker again, slips a tackle, short passes, Danaher. The skipper right in front, 20 metres from goal. 6 marks to Terry Danaher. This is an onslaught. I hate to think what they'll do in this quarter with the breeze after kicking 8 goals in the first quarter into it. Straight through the middle. 10-2 to 2-4.
Well, we commented on that change, and straight away Baker took possession and pushed the ball straight across to Danaher. Here's Baker, just manages to worm his way through a couple of tackles. Danaher in a lot of space, marking very easy. It looks as though Coach Carl's made 3 or 4 changes in the back line. We'll try and pick them all up. But Danaher and Phillips now appear to be together.
Well, it appears that the preliminary final might be over. 3.5 minutes into the second quarter. Hawker first there, but he just shepherds for Thompson, who kicks forward from the wing and finds Danaher again. He goes long, up towards Merritt. Well played, McCormack, who outpositioned his man. But here's Baker again for his 4th.
Well, at the 4-minute mark of the second quarter, Leon Baker has 10 kicks and 4 goals. And he's really making a big hole in the Collingwood side. On the replay, we see him simply just pick the ball up really with sheer skill. Morwood really had an opportunity there, but wasn't quick enough. Ran through, picked it up, and edged it over his shoulder in virtually lackadaisical fashion, but he's pretty keen about the goal.
Baker's kicked 4. He's given 1 to Watson and 1 to Danaher. Absolutely dominant on the forward line. They just can't stop him. Richardson going backwards to Taylor. Draws a couple. Finds Mullane. Good pass to Banks. Walsh playing him like a... Oh, terrific football by Walsh. There's an unlikely looking customer. Kevin Sheedy is pretty well known for fancying him as a player, and isn't he doing the job for him today? Madden to the back, goes to Bradbury. Interception by Richardson. He needs to spark. Andrews leads again. And plays on. Rough Ronnie going for his 3rd. Nobody back in the goal square, and it's home. Well done, Ron Andrews. I didn't think you could do it.
Well, I don't know whether Rod's all that convinced he could do it either, but he's really showing the way for Collingwood because he's probably the only Collingwood player that's really attacking the ball, that it's in front of his man all the time. Richardson, a great interception, really took that out very well. He has hard-end-sided today, and an excellent pass to Andrews. Realises Weston's wrong-footed, a couple of players coming in, but backs himself and puts the kick away. Realised he was slightly out of range, and probably a little luck with the bounce, but a good goal.
Too little, too late, one would imagine. Not that it's that late, but the odds are overwhelming. Free kick to Harvey. From the centre. Low and direct to half forward. Toomey back on the ground, couldn't mark, but down to McEwen it comes. 2 against 1 in the Dons' favour. Thompson. Not such a good pass that time. Mullane, who's had a sterling contest with Neagle on the wing. Goes wide to Neville Shaw. Couldn't mark it. Strong play by Merritt. And from being an easy Collingwood possession, suddenly the ball is anybody's because it's going to be bounced.
Would have been holding the ball. The ball then travels out, and umpire Cameron rules on the boundary throw-in. Duckworth back on Andrews, and the 2 former teammates having a big chat to each other. We're 150 metres from this action. Danaher charges at it, taps it to the back delightfully to Clark. Watson going past, difficult left footer from wide out. He centres, Van der Haar. In front, 15 metres out. Van der Haar, Baker, Danaher. You can name the lot. They're thrashing them on the forward line.
8 marks to the Dutchman.
And 4 goals.
What a phenomenal performance by the Essendon forward line. They're really winning in virtually every position. It's not just the skill of their players, it's also the speed with which the ball's coming down. Here we see it running loose. Danaher once again in front. That makes a huge difference. Clark giving the ball across to Watson. He centres it, very skilled and very disciplined centre. And then Van der Haar, a big mark. Really nothing much that McKeown could do about it.
Classical stuff. So it's 52 points Essendon's way. Just 8 minutes into the second quarter. Mullane is swamped. Tunnels it out, but the whistle beats him. And there'll be a ball up, almost in the centre circle. Well, there were those of us who thought that last Sunday's second semi might take it out of Essendon. But haven't they responded? And this would be a performance to perhaps strike some fear into the hearts of the Hawks. Not that those brown and gold hearts know too much fear. A free kick to Fellows from behind the centre. He kicks up towards half forward. First time his boot has touched the ball. Derek Shaw, the big spoil, but it's gone the wrong way. Watson to half forward. Fine mark. Baker again. Brown late on the scene. Baker standing his ground and taking it with strength. He and Van der Haar have kicked 8 between them. He kicks straight to the Dutchman, who is flying.
Well, Mick Malthouse today was saying that some of the Collingwood young players may well get found out against the Essendon side today after 2 finals, coming up against very skilled players, might find the third game a little hard. It certainly seems to be the case.
Number 5.
Once again, we saw the ball come off very, very quickly from the wing. And that's really what's setting the whole thing up. It came down to Baker, who took a courageous mark, held his ground tremendously well. That shows a lot of courage. He knew Brown was coming in, but he was still prepared to stay there. And we see here an excellent lead from Van der Haar. He really hasn't got a lot of space, but Baker's prepared to give it. That's one thing that Essendon do very well. They give the ball to a leading forward.
Fellows wins. Neville Shaw can't gather. Another stack up. 80 to 22. Less than 10 minutes into the second quarter. 13-2 the Bombers. Fantastic kicking. Madden wins. Dacos, he's had 1 kick. That's all Hurd's given him. Won't get one here either. Williams. Good strength by Darren Williams. Brown swamped, and that'll be a ball up. Umpire Rowan Soars. Centre half forward for the Bombers. Ball hits the ground. Burrowing through Taylor. Whistle's gone again. Just look at the magnificent surface of VFL Park. You wouldn't believe it.
Merritt having a run. Dacos. Hemmed in again, but was held that time. Hurd not happy. What a Scrooge. He's given Dacos 1 kick and he's fuming about the fact that he's got a second. And Dacos has had to come up to half-back to get it. He kicks in characteristic fashion, very long. Walsh, well tackled, that was a throw, should have been penalised. Barham, Ezard. Watson and Bradbury fighting for it, and it's a ball up when perhaps the Dons might have got away then, but they're so anxious for the ball. In fact, it wasn't Bradbury, it was Hawker.
Outer wing. Fellows, but straight to Harvey. Danaher beaten for once by McKeown. The young boy who toured Ireland with the schoolboys earlier this year. Derek Shaw at the back takes a good mark. Too far out to score into the wind. Andrews has kicked everything that Collingwood have kicked. All 3 goals. He's He's moving around with Duckworth, his opponent. Oh, it's well short. Andrews charges at them. Madden in front. And Ronnie gets it again. Play on, says the umpire. It looked like a hole in the ball. Umpire Source calls for it. Dacos argues. And hasn't Ronnie played a solo effort on the forward line?
4 kicks for 3 goals to Andrews. Here's Dacos. But that late tackle was enough to put him well offline. And he was lucky to score a behind. There's the sorry tale for Collingwood. A 57-point margin, 12.5 minutes into the second quarter. As Duckworth plays on again, exploiting Andrews' lack of pace, and doesn't he exploit it? Over the top, he could go to Harvey with the hand pass, but he goes the long kick and finds Weston up towards the wing.
Great play by Bill Duckworth. He got it to the centre wing from the goal square. Banks. Neville Shaw. Good pass to Richardson. He and Dacos need to lift. He's back to the wing. He's going to get, no, not 15 metres. Inboard he goes. Taylor's kick smothered delightfully by Thompson. Merritt, or did he throw it, Watson? Play on again. Merritt once again. Still Roger Merritt. Well played, big fella.
The Dons set a winning margin record in last year's preliminary final. They might break it today. Merritt gets a free. Advantage isn't paid. Ezard wanted to hair down the ground with the ball. Last year, Essendon beat North Melbourne by 86 points. Merritt to half forward. What? Oh, Van der Haar was up. Just about penalisable. Taylor, Tony Shaw, Mullane with a bit of space. Gets to the wing. Kicks low to McMullen. Bradbury right onto him and gets 15 metres. Another professional one. Four kicks to Ian McMullen. Beyond half forward. Banks! A great mark. His 4th mark. That's certainly the best of them.
Dennis Banks, short passes. Dacos. No, it's not Dacos. It's McMullen. Now behind play, Mike Richardson, and in goes Duckworth. Andrews having a bit of a push. They're having a chat a while ago.
I think Duckworth had thoughts of doing something to Richardson there, but Ronnie Andrews saw it a little bit of a second earlier. I think the fact that a grand final is only 7 days away might also have loomed large in his mind at the last minute, admittedly.
McMullen with a big chance here. He's wide out, sure, but his distance only 30 metres. He's missed it.
And what a great view of that from ground level. Duckworth, not playing on this time, but attacking nonetheless as he goes almost down the middle to Watson. McCormack up, no, it was Abernethy. Hawker, oh, weaved his way brilliantly. Toomey, played on, caught by Baker. Should have been penalised, for goodness sake. Why no free kick, Mike? Well, certainly, I think Tim Lane's right in this case. Umpire Cameron quite right to play it on, and then I think incorrect not to give a holding the ball decision. Great play by Baker.
Fellows. Abernethy's been quiet today. Tony Shaw goes to Richardson, blocked by Hawker, back to Richardson. It's going to be a Collingwood free inboard to Tony Shaw. Centre circle job. 5 kicks for Tony Shaw. Oh, almost a good mark to McMullen. Clark, Williams. Essendon were going to get a free, allowed to play on. Thompson on his own on the wing. Madden in the pocket at the moment. Beaten this time by McCormack.
Down the middle to Tony Shaw, who stands his ground with the courage that we've come to expect from him.
And quickly gets it off. Banks again. Starting to mark with a bit of confidence. Goes long. Andrews is there. And Dacos. Harvey. Just worked the kick away despite pressure. Hawker. Again, very clever. Brilliant. And great delivery. Bradbury. Through the middle of the ground go the Dons.
Van der Haar again. Beaten by Phillips. No, Van der Haar's been paid. Well, man in front. 10 marks to Paul Van der Haar. 17.5 minutes gone in the second quarter. Umpire Soares being pretty strict with Van der Haar, bringing him behind the mark, moving him across about 2 metres. Possessions to Van der Haar. Absolutely starring. 13-80. Essendon, Collingwood 3-6-24. Madden trying to get free and lead from the goal square. He does that. Sandwich. Baker again. Pops over the top. Doesn't miss by much. 4 goals 2 to Leon Baker.
It was nearly too good to be true, wasn't it? He snapped that off the pack very well and just slightly misjudged the amount of curl he had to put on the kick.
Taylor kicks in. Looks for Fellows. Watson. Harvey. Looks like circle work at the moment. A long flying shot is just offline. 13-4. Plays 3-6. 58 points the margin.
It does look like circle work, and it's partly because Collingwood really aren't tackling in the same way they did last week and the way the Essendon players are today.
McCormack's kick. Van der Haar covers ground. It goes to Harvey. Back towards the pocket. Spills to Watson. Oh, he went the wrong way. Caught by Barham, dropped it. Holding the ball. Free kick to Barham. That's his second free from good tackles.
Watson had the chance to get out then, but went the wrong way. Danaher in from the side. Almost got the second grabber. Van der Haar, the star. Across ground. Thompson. Within range. He's only about 35 or 40 metres out. Now he drops it short to Williams, who's well within range. Goalless thus far. In fact, the Dons have only had 5 goal kickers. 5 to Van der Haar and 4 to Baker. 9 out of 13. Number 14. The margin 64 points.
Well, Collingwood starting with the ball there, possession on the half-back line, and got from Barham. And it was very, very quickly rebounded, really through the great effort of Danaher. He was prepared to risk life and limb and cut across the front of the pack. And once again, we saw very poor pressure on Van der Haar. He was given plenty of time, despite the fact Collingwood players were nearby. Came across to Thompson, and he was then very easily able to push the ball across.
"20 minutes gone in the second quarter, and again it's a finals nightmare for Collingwood. Danaher out of the middle, hooking it over his shoulder. Ezard, beautifully out wide to Thompson. He's got time, drives it long, too long for Madden. McCormack doubles back. Taylor, a fumble. Brown under pressure. Back to centre wing, it's all Essendon here. Danaher, at the back of him, Merritt. Beautiful play by Merritt to Hawker. Inside half forward, Madden. Close to the line. Taylor sees it out. Not yet. Now it's out for a throw-in.
Madden versus Fellows. Good knock, Fellows. Neville Shaw to his elder brother Tony, who had about 3 coming the other way. Thompson barreled by Abernethy, who just hasn't had a touch. And Thompson takes it forward of the wing. Centres. Good direct play. Van der Haar again. Almost. Mullane. Brown, was it?
Fellows.
Fellows out of defence. Clark now. Centres well. Hawker. Saw a man bearing down, so decided to go back and take his kick.
So getting clear, Watson. Leaving Brown in his wake. Tim Watson's 9th kick. Should be a goal. Ezard being interchanged. Tony Bahagia coming on for his first run at the 22-minute mark of the second quarter, just as Tim Watson lines up for goal. Close. Not quite.
Wherever the ball falls, we're seeing the Collingwood side being totally outnumbered by Essendon players. They're really much more prepared to run.
Taylor calls for the short one from McCormack. Takes it in the back pocket. In short again, where two of them lurk, and Toomey takes it. But Collingwood really having to do it in fits and starts now. Toomey has to go across ground. There is nowhere to go for the Magpies. Mullane, probably their best player, kicks beyond the wing where Richardson leads in the race. Does it well against Clark. In towards Gary Shaw. Thompson. Corker. Call from Bahagia. First touch, under pressure. That's a hard way to get your first grab, but Merritt takes the loose ball. Fellows almost the mark. Madden. Ball up, half forward for the Dons.
14-5 Essendon, 3-6 Collingwood.
Collingwood showing no enthusiasm fitting the ball back into play.
Magpies missed the finals in the last 2 years. Their hordes of supporters came out again after their 2 brilliant finals wins leading up to this game. A crowd of over 70,000 here for this preliminary final. But again, it looks as though they're going to be disappointed. Williams. Hawker's been great. Across the ground to Watson. Watson quickly to Van der Haar. Not quite this time, but he still might goal. Good pressure persistence by Paul Van der Haar. He's hungry today. He's kicked 5 already.
The hungriest he's looked in quite a few years. 16 possessions late in the second quarter. Toomey helps the ball on his way. Off the boot, was it?
Great play by Harvey. It was one you see in soccer occasionally, where you kick the ball into the other man's legs and it goes over.
Out on the full.
His legs.
So he has a scoring chance. He's only about 30 metres out. The angle, though, of course, extremely acute. But the Dons can do no wrong. Harvey's second goal, Essendon's 15th. And the Dons lead by 71 points at the 24.5-minute mark of the second term.
And Harvey, who didn't start the game, has got 7 kicks. After a disappointing game last week, he'll be very, very pleased with that. We see here the trick that gets it for him. He pushes the ball onto Taylor's boot, and straight away it goes out of bounds. And from there, he went back and put the ball through from right on the boundary line.
Just about to tick into time on. Fellows wins in the middle. Bahagia again. Just gets the kick away. Awkward one here for Western. Mullane spoils. Dacos has hardly been sighted. Mullane again. Going backwards to Brown. Up to half forward. Well, short of half forward. Crash. Neville Shaw. Taking it backwards, Collingwood. Another chance for Abernethy. Nobody there for Collingwood. A shocking kick by Bruce Abernethy. Thompson marks.
Bit of pressure put on Folds, but he's good enough. Hawker is really finding some space in this quarter. Here comes Van der Haar! Oh, couldn't get the second grab. I wish he had. Richardson, well tackled by Bahagia. And the error's being forced. Here goes Williams, lines up the sticks, and misses.
Well, Van der Haar's looking for an injury the way he's going. He's so hot, he's going for everything, and twice now we've seen him come right over the top of the pack, and of course this is how he's tended to hurt himself over the last few years.
Well, I hope he doesn't spend it all this week.
No, so do I. He's a marvellous player to watch.
Kick in by McCormack. Harvey's got his name written all over it. Murdering Abernethy. Beautiful pass to the forward pocket, but it was well chopped out by McEwen. Dacos having to roam far and wide to get kicks. Hasn't had too many. Up towards the centre wing for Banks. Walsh over the top. Good mark.
Wasn't it a fine mark? Into half forward. Danaher and the Essendon forwards are just blitzing Collingwood. Of course, they're getting so many opportunities, it's easy, but they really are showing wonderful attacking skills. Danaher 8 marks. Van der Haar about as many. Baker brilliantly scouting the packs.
Brilliant Essendon forward line. Danaher a long way from goal. Kicks high. Madden up in the middle. Couldn't get a grip on that, and a throw-in coming up in the Dons' forward pocket.
By half-time, the demolition of Collingwood was virtually complete. Essendon kicked 9 goals, 5 in the second quarter, and that is a record for a preliminary final in the second term. To Collingwood's 1-2, the margin was 84 points. And then the Bombers kicked 11 goals to 2 in the second half to win by 133 points, the biggest ever winning margin in a VFL final. Baker kicked 6 goals, Van der Haar 5, Harvey and Williams 4 each for the winners, and for Collingwood, former Don Ron Andrews, who couldn't make the team last year in the finals, kicked 3 goals. So the Dons are through to the grand final again, and it's a repeat of last year's grand final next week with Hawthorn against Essendon. It's only the first time since 1975-6 that the same clubs have played off 2 years running. In the reserves, Melbourne up against Carlton. In the under-19s, North Melbourne against Richmond. But we've got more preliminary final action to come before this day is out, because Drew Morfitt will be along at 5 o'clock with the winners, and plenty of action from the match you've just been watching between Essendon and Collingwood. And very importantly in that program, we'll have the winners of this year's Mark and Goal of the Year competition, and of course tickets to the grand final next week will go to those who have won the 2 big prizes. So make sure you're watching the winners with Drew at 5 o'clock. Hope you have a good day between now and then. I'll see you next week.